Hi there, this is Marty from owingsart.com, and thank you for stopping by today as we take a look at these Dr. P.H. Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolors. This is, people have been asking me to do a review on these for a long time, and they sort of defy convention. So what is concentrated watercolor and how do you use it? Why would anybody invent this? Well, Dr. P.H. Martin's has been around for a little over 100 years. It's made in the United States, and I think really what this is this concentrated ink. You look around the website, the P.H. Martin's website and other reference material, and what you find out there is concentrated watercolors. Really what we're talking about here is ink. Now these aren't very light fast, they're not waterproof, but they're great for illustration, manga, things like that. If you're going to do just a storyboard, or you want to add some vivid color to a picture and just keep it in a sketchbook or a portfolio. If you hang it up in direct sunlight or UV light, it's really going to fade fast. That's not what these are for. These are really concentrated inks and ink type watercolor for mocking things up. And so the P.H. Martin makes a whole line of different concentrated watercolors and inks, and I'll be doing a review on the Hydrus watercolors made by P.H. Martin as well, and those are light fast. And so we'll get to those as soon as I can. But here today I want to talk about this P.H. Martin's. Covered in a list the materials that I'll use today, but they'll include this Strathmore 400 series paper, a couple different kinds of brushes, a number 6 round and a filbert, and then I'll use some clean water. And you can see here how concentrated and highly pigmented the colors are. And when they say concentrated, they really mean concentrated. So anyway, the uses of concentrated watercolor. So special effects, getting that certain vividness to the color you want. You know how some watercolors can be washed out? Maybe that's the look you're going for and that works great. But what happens if you want to get, sort of a hyper realistic or hyper accentuated color palette in your work? Well, this is one way to do it. And I'm going to demonstrate all the colors here today as we go through, and you don't need much. See that tiny drop gives you a really concentrated amount of color. Now you can apply these in a palette, like a plastic palette, and just dip into that palette with your brush, or you can do it here like I'm doing it right on the paper. Just a very tiny amount does the job. And because this is just demonstrating the colors and things like that, I don't mind putting it right on the paper, but normally I would use a palette and be able to mix the colors. But for demonstration purposes, this is fine today. I should mention quickly that these are non-toxic as well. So they go through the testing, and the ATSM organization blesses them that they're non-toxic and everything like that. I also, for like fabric artists, I should mention that it says in the literature and on the website for Dr. P.H. Martin's that if you want this to be permanent on fabric, you can use a little soda ash, or what's also known as sodium bicarbonate, to make them permanent, like a dye. So if you wanted to dye fabric or paint a picture on silk or cloth or whatever, you could do that as well. You see how once I add a little bit of water to these, even in the diluted state with the water, how vibrant and just bam, they just pop. They're right out there. So I mean, that's pretty extraordinary when you think about a watercolor. But when you think about an ink, maybe this is exactly what you're looking for. Here's a list of the colors you get in set A. Like I mentioned before, there's 4 sets, and I love the variety of color. In this particular set, you get several more reds than you do blues and greens, but that's okay because you can mix the colors, as I'm going to do right here. So I want to get a leaf green here. That was really a deep purple or violet. But here I want to get a leaf green, so I'm going to add a little yellow and a little true blue here, right from the set. And as soon as I mix the two, you'll see the green that I'm able to get. So there's the blue. Clean the brush up, and I use a paper towel here too to clean the brush after I rinse it in water. But you can see the nice green you get here. So mixing is really easy with these colors, and you're still left with that vibrancy that you would expect from an ink-based watercolor. So you can see here it's just really, really nice. And so I was thinking, well, I'll try to make an Indian red using brown and maybe moss red or scarlet or something like that. So I'm going to try that out as well. One of the things that I really like about the PH Martins is that you can tell there's quality here. It comes in a glass bottle. The paints are as vivid and bright as you expect them to be. The droppers are well made. I had no problems with that. The only knock on it is really the packaging, maybe. I would like a closing or folding lid package, but when you think about the expense and how much these paints cost, maybe they chose just to put a little bit more money into the actual paints themselves versus the packaging. The packaging is not bad. I'm just saying it could be better. I also like the way it's clearly marked on the packaging what you're getting, the color. It's not only is it the color of the bottle, the label, but it's also printed right on there. And it also reminds you to shake the bottle well before use and all those things. So here's some of the pros, and I've mentioned most of those. Some of the cons, right? I mentioned non-light fast, it's not waterproof, it's not very permanent, and the packaging thing. Cost is about $75, so it's not cheap for this set, but remember you're getting 14 colors. Here's my final ratings, and I really enjoyed using these, and I think they're great for the purpose they serve, and they sort of fit in their own category. Final rating, 7.5. It's pretty extraordinary and fun to use these. So push your palette a little bit, explore a little bit, and I think you'll find these are great. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share the video if you enjoyed it. All right, I think that's it for today. This has been Marty for owingsart.com. Have a great day, everybody. So long.